Life goes on with changes, don't they? Yeah, changes. The only constant in this life, and I want to talk about a very special kind of change. I want to tell you today some things about negative changes, which can really be positive changes if you know how to deal with them. And so my subject is positive outcomes from negative experiences. My theme for the month is make a positive difference. No, that's it. The theme for the year. Growth is the privilege of a lifetime. Growth. There's not going to be any growth if there's nothing negative happening in your life. Because the real growth of your life comes from those things that we deem as negative. And we deem them as negative because we're not comfortable with them. And they seem to disappoint us. But I want to tell you that we're living in a field of pairs of opposites. This is a field of time. And the only way you can come through this life is to come through what life is. And one of the things that we do in the science of mind is to hitch our wagon on the positive nature of things. And there are good reasons for that. But we should not discount the importance of the negative in the direction of our life. And hopefully by the end of this talk, we will see why. Ernest Holmes says, we shall have to learn that evil is neither person, place, nor thing in itself, but is an experience that we are allowed to have. So, Dr. Holmes recognized that the tree of knowledge of good and evil is really a description of the life that we're living. It's a symbolic description of the life we're living. And when we hear in the wonderful book of Deuteronomy, where Abraham is telling people to listen to God, that I put before you this day good and evil. Choose good, that you and your descendants may live. This is really what the choice is. These things are all part and parcel of what life is. And we're the ones who need to choose so that we will understand the nature of things and put ourselves in alignment with that which will move us through this life with a sense of meaning and accomplishment. I think the famous story that I've told many times here and will again is the one told by the great Chinese mystic. And as, of course, when we talk about Chinese mystic, I am remembering that we just had Chinese New Year. So I should say to you, Gong Hei Fat Choi, Happy New Year. So you can take that and surprise your Chinese friends with it. And hopefully they won't tell you that your Jamaican minister who spoke Chinese is mispronouncing the words. Anyway, let me get back to my subject. There's this farmer who had this beautiful stallion, and one day the horse escaped from the corral. And his neighbor came over and commiserated him, said, "Oh, what a bad thing, you lost your beautiful stallion." And the little old farmer said, "Who knows what's good and what's bad?" Next day, the horse came back with a whole herd of wild horses and met in its wanderings. And back came the neighbor, congratulating him on his windfall. "Oh, what a good thing, your horse brought all these other horses." Same reply, "Who knows what's good and what's bad?" The following day, the son of the farmer went to mount one of the wild horses back, fell off and broke his leg. Back came the neighbor, "Oh, what an awful thing, the horse broke his leg." Well, the next day, the army came to commandeer the boy to take him to war where likely he would die, but because his leg was broken, he couldn't go. And of course, the neighbor comes back, and what do you think he said? All right. So, you're seeing here terms of our experience, depends a lot on what it is that you take away from the event, from the experience, what you have learned and what you put in practice. And we certainly want you to know that the first place we ought to go in when things happen that we don't like is to that place within us, that place that Jesus talked about when he says the kingdom of God is within you. The absolute potential for good, for healing, for forgiveness, for love, all these things is within you. And what we need to understand is that when we come to that realization in our prayer, good things happen in our lives. There's an unfoldment that happens. But I want you to have steps in which you can know on your pathway how you can make it. You see, we look at Fort Lauderdale, and we see that a 19-year-old gunman has killed 17 students and educators. And how can you say there's any good in that one like that? The issue is not that it is good that this young man did what he did. The issue is once you have had an experience that you have deemed as bad, as awful, as evil, whatever term you wish to put to it, you still have to go on living, and so the question is, what are you going to do with that experience? And in this case, we find that the students and teachers have assembled before the courthouse several days, and they have been protesting the lack of activity by their government in taking the lead in doing something about the way guns are available to everyone. There was an FBI report that this young man was a danger, and yet he was able to go and buy a gun. Nonetheless, one of the students mentioned that if the president came to me and told me that it is sad and terrible, it's a tragedy, and how it is that he hoped this will never happen again, this student said, I would happily ask him how much money he received from the National Rifle Association. And I would ask all the politicians who have received support from the National Rifle Association and refuse to make sensible laws governing guns so that we don't have this catastrophe each time. No, that's what they're doing with it. Whether you consider this right or wrong is up to you. But the truth of the issue is when things do not work out in our lives, and we take no action, and we have no new thought, and we haven't learned anything from it, we will keep repeating the same thing over and over again. There was a mother whose child was killed by a drunk driver. Now, there is no way you can bring back the life of that child. But what she did is that she started an organization against drunk driving called MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, or Drunken Drivers. And what she aimed to do with that was to get people who drink and are on the road off the road so that they would not continue, not only to kill young people, but to kill anyone at all. We live in a community where we don't really know how things are going to unfold. They unfold the way they do, and we govern ourselves in a way where we can take what we have learned from what seemed to be negative and turn it into a positive for the greater good of everyone. So let me give you 7 definite things that you can do. One of the things I have often said here is that spirituality is our ability to convert contending opposites into complementary ones. Spirituality is the ability to convert contending opposites, things that want to fight, into things that may dance, things that can get on together. This is the challenge of all human life. That we have a consciousness that rises above the consciousness of the other animals that we know. And we have the choice, the power of choice, to do something about how our lives move in this plane, along this plane, for everyone. So the first thing I want you to understand is that anger can fuel your creativity. That's what you saw in the case of this woman. Her anger fueled her creativity. And although it seems like negative emotion sometimes will stifle creativity, science and research is suggesting that when we have negative experiences and we are feeling angry about it, it may also be a time for you to go deeper into thinking about the problem you have not given enough thought to. And you will find answers that when you are happy and going along, you would never find those answers. And so what I'm saying to you is that it's not necessarily a bad thing to feel anger if you know how to channel it into creating something new and something better. It is when you become overwhelmed by anger and it sweeps you out of your mind that becomes a bad thing. But if you can feel that anger and say something must be done, not necessarily about God, but about any aspect of your life, and to look at it and say, I need to go deeper into thinking about myself. Where do I stand with this? And how can I come up with a better solution? So, this is what you do with anger. The second thing I want you to think about is adversity can focus your life. You have adversity in your life. Struggling. We talk about George Washington Carver on the first Sunday of this month. And we talk about the adversity that he faced. First of all, as a child that didn't have very much strength. And his brother, who was very strong, decided that he didn't want to stay with learning how to read and write. The family that they lived with didn't quite treat them like slaves. And the brother went out in the field to work with his stepfather, as it was seen back then, while George Washington Carver, who was a weak fellow, stayed and learned with this man's wife, Susan, how to treat plants and how to make medicine from plants. I look at the thing that he had a challenge getting into school after he got to a certain age. And finally, when that white family found a school that would take black children, he had to walk 10 miles to and from school every single week. Every single week. We're not going to go back over that sermon, but I want you to see that adversity can focus your life. There is something about each one of us that can focus our life. I think it was Samuel Johnson who said, there is nothing that focuses one's life like his impending death. If you ever had a near-death experience, maybe it's cancer, maybe it's traffic, whatever it is, you suddenly might get an insight on what it is that is really important in your life when it seems like you almost lost it, or you're about to lose it. And so we must understand that this is a negative experience. But here is a positive outcome. You can also come to a place where you understand that you can't, as you grow older, just keep eating anything you want. You must eat the things that are good for you. And you must have a sense of responsibility that you can't just please the taste of your tongue. Sugar will kill you. It's poisonous if you take it too far, and most people do. Lack of exercise is another thing. And so when you begin to see the challenges that come from your lack of health, they're to say, wake up. There's something important for you to note here. A third negative is that's something on my notes here. Oh. I believe what I should have written here. Oh yeah, I know what it is. You know, when you leave a letter off your word, it turns into a different word. That's a negative. So the positive now is that you have to make it up. All right. What it is working through shame may gain you compassion. Working through shame. How many of us have something that we're ashamed of? And the problem isn't that you should go on being ashamed of it. The problem is you should go to a point where you begin to understand what your responsibility in that event was, that experience was, and learn from it, and forgive yourself and forgive the people involved, and move on. The great thing about shame is that you can develop compassion for others who have been victimized by some means or the other. Compassion is one of the most central aspects of spirituality. That's why Jesus said, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? If we don't have compassion, it doesn't matter what church you go to, what you say you believe, what you don't believe in. If you don't have compassion, it's all for naught. It is all for naught. If you do not have love, that is where you have missed the mark of your spirituality. Compassion. And compassion is not something that you just feel. It's something that you do. There must be an activity that comes out of your feeling. Some people just want to feel. Yeah, I'm really sorry about this. The question is not whether you can do something about everything. The question is whether you're doing something about what you can do something about. And so compassion must be transformed into an activity. And when it is transformed into an activity, we can overcome the shame and we can move on with our lives as a result of being wiser in the world. We're not in the world to simply have good experiences all the time. We're in the world to recognize good in the experiences we have all the time. And when we can do that, it transforms the way we relate to our world. The fourth thing I want to share with you is pessimism can make you more productive. No, we generally don't like pessimists. But a little pessimism is not really that bad. Somebody who's too optimistic sometimes won't get things done when they should get it done. I think of myself with taxes. And I think of Cecilia who's reminding me we need to get the taxes done. All of us have these little things that we'd rather not do. And sometimes a little pessimism about what may happen. You know, I teach you the wonderful thing. What do I call it? The strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. SWOT. It's a SWOT analysis that business teaches. That when you look at your life and you want to go at something, some venture, you must look at your strength and look at your weakness. That's personal. Then you must look at the opportunities and the threats that is outside of yourself. Business does that. And we need to do it too. We need to take a look at our strengths and weaknesses, and the thing that we're not strong on, get help. We're not going to be strong at everything. Know what area it is. Cecilia's come to the point where if something needs to get fixed in the house, no matter how much I say I have the skill, she said, let us get somebody to do it. Why? Because it gets pushed in the background to every other thing that I have to do. And you see, she knows what to do when it gets done, because I listen to the voice of wisdom, and that helps me out. The fifth thing is envy. You can't imagine that envy can be anything, but it all depends on how far it goes. Research shows that envy can make you better. Research. This is not me just, by the way, all these things that I'm sharing with you, I have taken from positive psychology research. They're not things I'm making up off the top of my head. I've done my research into their research, and that's why I'm sharing this with you. So, you know, we were warned when we were young, don't turn into a green-eyed monster. Well, envy may trigger a sense of what you're lacking, and you tend to see it in others. But this emotion can actually spur us to better ourselves, says Scientific American. They said that after you realize other people don't necessarily have everything you think you want, the next logical step is to figure out what it is that you really want. So it gets you to attend to something because you feel like you're lacking, and perhaps you're lacking. But it might get you to work harder to be more of what you need to be, so that you yourself can take the place you ought to take in this life, and then you don't have to envy anyone. You can let it go, but it can be a spur to get you moving in the right direction. And so that is one of the ways in which you can use envy to really move you to a positive place. Now what about loss? That's a hard one, isn't it? You lose your husband, you lose your wife. All of us have lost someone. And sometimes it might be a divorce. And we think that the end of the world has come about, at least for a while, until we begin to realize that there is a lesson that is coming through. That somehow the messenger angel, if you will, is speaking to you, if you will listen. Isn't it interesting that we always speak in terms of the still small voice of God? Wisdom doesn't shout at you. Sometimes it might hit you over the head with a 2x4, but it doesn't shout. You have to listen very carefully. That's why in the Bible it says, be still and know. Be still and know. There's a knowledge in you, there's something in you that knows. And what we come to know when we have lost something is a sense of gratitude that will take its place of what it is that we have. Psychology says you cannot be depressed and grateful at the same time. And so what we need to do when we have that loss is to come to a place of gratitude. The loss points to what you do not have now, but it also points to the privilege of your having had it when you did. And so when we come to that place of gratitude, it changes everything. It puts us in a place where we can appreciate more, and we get up every day with a sense of thankfulness in our hearts. Instead of criticism and what is it we don't have, you begin to bless the things that you do have. And suddenly, whatever you bless multiplies. The goodness of what it is that you need to feel multiplies. Because in the final analysis, it's not the things. It's the feeling that you have within yourself. You think you're getting them from things. You're not getting them from things. You're getting them from the cultivation of that spiritual essence of your life that comes out of gratitude. How grateful I am to be who I am, instead of thinking, I wish I was somebody else. No, you are perfect just the way you are. In terms of your potential, in terms of what it is that you can do in the world, this is your time. My final point here is negative thoughts and emotions can lead to mindfulness. Mindfulness, meditation, is a way of cultivating your attention to focus on the present moment. Now, I'm not one of these people who go around teaching that all you have to do is focus on the present moment. Your life is mostly your past. And if you forget your past, you don't know who you are in the present moment. So, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because you still need to be able to focus your attention on what is happening in your life right now. How is this happening in your life? And what are the gifts that are coming? And what are the possibilities that exist as a result of what is happening around you? Lao Tzu also says, the bad man is the good man's job. In other words, if things didn't go wrong in life, you wouldn't have anything to do. When the time came for motor cars to take the place of all these carts that they used to have around, the stagecoaches and all that, people lost their jobs. People are still losing their jobs from one thing or another. Change will do that. But all of us have to continue to learn how to be adaptive to what is going on, how to stay in the present and appreciate what is happening in the present. Not just live in the past to say, the good old days were so and so. In the time of Socrates, he said something to the effect, I don't know what this generation is coming to. Have you heard that? Have you said it yourself? Okay. Well, this is what it is. I didn't know that people would still be wearing their pants as low down as they did now, as they do now. But they do. I didn't know that rap would last as long as it is, but now it's an art form. All of us who belong to a different age have to find a way to adapt to what is happening presently. It doesn't mean you have to give up everything that you have. I consider myself an eclectic, not an eclectic, somebody who likes many, many things. And I find that it's a good way to be in the world. When I become too fixed on liking only one thing, and having only one thing, I put myself in a position where I no longer grow. I'm inviting you to understand that there is something about this life that we live that we can all appreciate. The good, the bad, and the indifferent is part and parcel of it. You don't get to step off on a platform that just has only good. The work that you have is the work that allows you to walk through the valley of the shadow of death, the threats of life, and to know that you have a great part to play if you can convert what seemed to be negative into positive experiences. God bless you all.